Welcome to a brand new episode of the No Code Wizardry Show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
We're going to be talking about the future of the web in this episode because, well, Google had their Google I/O presentation last week, and they announced a lot of things, but in particular, I think it's becoming clearer and clearer for everyone that they have no interest in preserving uh, the way we've been searching for things online in the way that we have. They're completely evolving. Things are 100% moving more towards AI. And in fact, I wanted to reference a tweet that I saw by WP Toots, who said the following: serious question. After seeing how Google is pushing to change search as we know it in favor of an AI agent based flow, what is the real future of web design? Are we seeing the death of the website web design industry as we know it? And I think there's a couple of different things here that we need to address. The first one is, yes, of course, they are definitely prioritizing an AI agent based way of searching for things where you simply ask Google something and it spits out the best possible response that it can think of. And I think that is the future of search. I mean, it's probably even the present. I don't know about you, but these days, I'm looking for things online. And in 6 out of 10 cases, I don't even need to see a website. I mean, the AI just does a good enough job
Yeah,
for me
you're right there.
uh, of giving me a response.
Yeah. And if you use Perplexity, for example, it's even better. Um,
How?
it is because it does a more profound search and it compiles the responses in a more intelligent way. I just happen to like it better. I think it does a better job of it, although, who knows who's going to win that war. But I agree that a couple of days ago, old geezer here, I was starting to have some back pain from, is it the beginning of lumbago? And I said, "Hey, Perplexity, I kind of feel like my back is starting to get sore." He said, "Well, you should probably do these 3 stretches
Uh huh.
before it gets worse." And I've been doing the stretch, I'm feeling a lot better. So, and I didn't go to, I know though that it gave me references. This one's from the Mayo Clinic, this one's from, here, from there. And it kind of built a really good answer, but it works. So,
Um, Interesting. So I think I want you to go a little deeper into what is. I mean, you've written a book around SEO and
Mhm.
building well SEO optimized bubble applications. Are things just completely going to get destroyed for everyone who's making a living off of
Look,
SEO?
I don't think so. Because, first of all, I think that almost everything that we suggested in the book for how to do SEO for your bubble applications and for in general for websites still helps you get well positioned with AI. I mean, in the end, there has to be some formula that helps those AI models discover the best alternatives.
So I think the follow up question to that is obviously okay, why would I continue to create content on my website, for example, just for the AI to get all of the benefit? I mean, 5 years ago, if I'm writing blog posts, if I'm updating my site, if I'm creating new content, I'm getting the benefit of putting all of that work into my content creation engine, right? Because people are landing on my site and I may capture some business. But these days, I'm only feeding the AI algorithm. I mean, and it's taking all of the benefits for itself.
Well, first of all, I don't think it is. And I guess it depends on each particular business. But in the end, if you go to AI and you say, which no code development agency should I work with? And undoubtedly, it's going to put ratio at the top of the list because that's what any good AI would do. But, there, if you want to be second in that list after ratio, you got to do something, right? Otherwise, AI is not going to discover you.
Right.
Okay. And the way you do that is you have a great website and you put out great content. And maybe this reveals what I've been saying for a long time. The content you create has to be for people,
It
Okay.
has, and when you say
And
that, you really
you
mean that it
you
needs to be
shouldn't
good,
be creating content to game the system to get leads to your business.
right?
You should be putting out great content that people want to consume, real human beings want to consume because it helps them in their lives. And the byproduct of that should be that all of these companies like Google and Perplexity and all of the other ones recognize that effort that you've put in, and their AI models take that into consideration and they put you at the top of the list right after ratio. Uh, and if you go at it with that philosophy, I think that you can't really go wrong. Um,
So, what is going to happen once they somehow figure out? I mean, they've already started rolling out ads inside ChatGPT, for example. So, what happens once you you put the work into crafting good, meaningful content for real humans, but it's recommending five different agencies next to ratios once you're talking to the AI that are paying to be recommended by the AI instead of yours?
mm, I guess your question is advertising manipulative? Well, I guess it has been and it is and it always will be a
No,
certain
but
amount
come
of
on,
that.
and
But you're right. Okay, so somebody's going to pay to get their name next to ratio because they want to borrow off of our credibility.
right,
Well, first of all, more power to you. But
right.
uh, that isn't going to change the buyer's uh, predisposition of actually doing a little bit of due diligence. So if and it all boils down to and Alex Hormozi did a really good video not long ago about this. Not all content is equal. Okay, there's low risk content and there's high risk content. So if your goal is to uh, you know, buy a new hair clipper because your old one is breaking down in the back, it doesn't cut your hair very well.
We'll be doing that
you're
soon.
you're you're going to probably that is probably you're going to consume a bit of content about hair clippers and you're going to buy one, and it's low risk, and probably AI can build that content and you're going to consume it just fine and it doesn't matter and it's going to convince you or not. But if you're looking to build a revenue stream for your business using software, then that is much more high risk. Okay. You want to find a good partner. Okay. And finding a bad partner could mean that you don't get the revenue, that you don't get a successful business launched. Okay. So you're going to put more effort into it, right? You're going to uh, do more due diligence. And that's where the human content's going to come in, because you're going to start listening to Tony and Dennis on their podcast. And you're going to go look at all those, amazing how-to videos on how to do stuff. And you're going to say, hey, these guys know what they're talking about. I want to work with them. Okay. And then it's not a price question. Then it's not did AI recommend three others along the way problem. Because if the three others don't pass the smell test, it doesn't matter. You're going to go with ratio.
Okay. I mean, inspiring words that make me a little less worried. I'm still worried. I'm not gonna lie. I still think that there's some great times ahead of really not knowing what's gonna happen with a lot of businesses that used to make a lot of money
Sure.
playing the SEO game.
You're right. That's true. But, you know, SEO has always been kind of, I don't want to say sketchy because it's not sketchy. It's not a scam, but it's always been a little bit how can I game the system? How can I get ahead of the pack even if I don't really deserve it? Okay. And I think that what we just all have to, put our big boy pants on and, you know, realize is that if you want to be at the front of the pack, you have to deserve it. And that means you've got to have real proof. That means you have to really know your shit. You have to do the work. And if you do that, we have to hope, and maybe this is me being optimistic, that all of these algorithms and these AI models are going to recognize that and value it. Okay? Or they're going to sell you out for an ad, right? Well, we're all aware of what that means. We all learn to look down and skip the sponsored
Hmm.
uh, listings in Google and go to the real ones.
Maybe humans start learning how to prompt in a way that says, "Hey, make sure that you don't insert any ad content in the response or something. Make sure that the
Right. Or
you only include."
really base your evaluation off of credible reviews uh, and real world experience. I don't know.
All right, let's just quickly touch on what is the real future, because I think we've covered the search engine based question. What about the web design question? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I think having a website is just going to become something obsolete. It doesn't make sense to have one anymore.
Well, if you don't have a website, then you don't have a destination. Okay, so don't expect AI to send anybody to a destination that doesn't exist. That's the first thing. The internet still exists, and you as a business owner need to have a little storefront there that's yours, property that belongs to you, that you control what it looks like, what it does, what it says. You know, you can have other presence on the internet.
I
You
was going
can,
to say, what if you simply have social media presence?
well, there you're depending. First of all, you can be deplatformed.
That's
You
true.
can,
The deplatform thing really annoys me.
and you want to have, look, you want to have a website and you want to have an email list. I don't care what changes for the foreseeable future. You need both of those.
30 years later, we're still saying, build up your email list.
Yeah. Yes, because it is a valuable asset that you can exploit every time you need to use it. Whereas, you know, look what happened. I remember what Facebook used to be like when you could create a page, post some content, and people would find it. Those days are long, long gone. That was gated way before AI. That was just pay if you want people to see your presence. Well, that's fine. I'm not against Facebook making money off of, selling access on their platform. I mean, they've built it, it's theirs. But do you want to depend on that? Or do you want to have some sort of autonomy in this connected world that we live in? And I think the thing is that it's just going to up the game.
You
I
think
think
so?
the websites that you build are going to be better. I think they're going to be more engaging, more entertaining, more beautiful, more enticing. And I think that just means that shabby website developers are going to go out of business and the good ones are going to get better.
I think it's a good place for us to wrap it up. You can visit ratio.dev. We have a free resource center that you can sign up for. We post useful tutorials. We update that every week. We share podcast episodes, books that we haven't written ourselves necessarily, but we think are very valuable for anyone building businesses in Bubble. And I just realized I wasn't focusing on my camera. Watching Dennis while I was speaking. Anyways, still getting used to this new podcast setup, but we'll get better.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
All right. Bye.